안녕하세요. Hello. Today is the 25th of June and I am here to continue my story about K-pop, Mr. Taemin, Lee Taemin, and my views upon K-pop lovers that I would love to have as my love slave indoors. Like I said last time, I would like to clone Taemin from a snotty tissue, and he could live next door and be my one and only. There you go. Anyway, I have been doing some research talking about before I get into that, I want to talk about their beautiful skin again, and I think I've found a solution to how we can all get beautiful glass-like Korean skin, and it's called an ablative laser treatment, and apparently it will make your skin look as smooth as a dolly's. So I'm very interested in that, and it's next on my list after me getting some lips. So anyway, my thoughts was, if I was interviewing SHINee and Lee Taemin, I would say to them, you know, what sort of things, you know, would you like to do? I personally want to go hang gliding. I've always wanted to go hang gliding, but I don't think I'd be able to get enough speed to actually fly off the cliff. I'd probably just kind of be running with this equipment and just fall over. So I'm not quite sure whether I could do it. And also I'm a big fat lump, so I'd probably just plummet down. Even with an instructor, we'd just plummet and land very awkwardly in a ravine and die. But I'd also like to water ski, but similarly I think that would be hilarious. The shape of me, big fat dolly, flying across the river on a speedboat. That would actually be quite delightfully funny because of my shape. I think I'd like to do it, and my hair could be flying in the wind. Could fly in the wind. And yeah, I would like to do that. And I'd also like to go deep sea dive, maybe not deep sea diving, but diving on coral reefs. I'd like to talk to the dolphins. And apparently there's near in the Canary Islands, near which island was it? I can't remember which island it is. It might be Gran Canaria. There's a beautiful sculptures underneath of like these people all holding hands together, and so it's quite fascinating. Or I'd like to go near San Juan, and where the because there's reportedly in that area there is an underwater alien base, and because they're always seeing these weird UFOs flying up out of the sea, so I'd like to go there and have a look if I can find any aliens. You know, what would I say to an alien? Hello, 안녕하세요, have you eaten? I'd say. And I'd ask them how they get their beautiful skin, because I'm sure they've got very translucent skin. I think the tall whites, if you're in on your aliens like what I am, the tall whites are supposed to have beautiful skin and great big eyes and long white hair. So yeah, I would ask them what's their skin regime. Then anyway, so all those things, I'm sure Taemin and SHINee and all those beautiful people, Udwani, they've probably all done that. They've done skydiving, deep sea diving and water skiing. In fact, I've seen some videos of Taemin doing it, so I know they've done it. But, you know, I'd say, what about, you know, do you want to go to space? maybe they want to go to space. Maybe they would want to ride on a horse naked in a forest. Maybe that's something they'd like to do. Or, you know, things, maybe just something really normal, because being so famous, they probably find it difficult to do normal things like going to shop at Lidl. So maybe they just want to go shopping at Lidl and be totally anonymous, which actually, if they came to the Lidl in Greenford, they would definitely be anonymous anyway. Nobody would know. What about, what else do I think? Would they like to go to B&Q, maybe? They probably do. Nowadays with the mask, it's a boon, isn't it? You just put the mask on and a hat and nobody would know you anyway. But then other thoughts I was thinking is, what do they think about? I mean, all of us, our biggest place to concentrate is on the toilet, isn't it, really, when you're having a poo? And I was sitting there thinking, I wonder what they think about when they're having a poo, because that must be a quite nice private time for them. So why not just tell everybody what you do while you're having a poo? So, you know, what do you think about? Do you just think about what's going to go on? I think about my day. Sometimes I play Scrabble, word games, depending on what I've eaten. But what else? I'd also like to ask them, even though they're stunningly beautiful, we all have parts about ourselves that we want to change. And for them, I suppose money is no option, not big deal really. So, but what if they could change anything about themselves with plastic surgery? What is it they would have done? You know, do they want blue eyes? Would they like to be taller? You know, have leg extensions? Would they like to have implants, ab implants, or breast implants? I don't know. You never know. That sort of thing. I wonder what they'd like to have done, you know, whether it be something ridiculously minor, like have their eyebrow repositioned because it's slightly, asymmetric, or whether it be something huge, like I'd like to have bigger hands. I think Taemin doesn't like his little hands. I join you with that, Taemin. I too have little hands, which my friend takes great delight in taking the mickey out of me about. And he has little hands. Maybe he would like bigger hands if it was just sort of alien technology that you just type into a computer, you know, genetic manipulation, and they just zap a laser over you and make it just how you want it, without some pain, I'm sure. And also, you know, what about, we've all got our favourite pair of underpants. I'd be very, very curious to know what their favourite pair of underpants is, the most comfortable pair of underpants, because, you know, it's a bad day, isn't it, when you have uncomfortable underwear that cuts in, you know, pants that roll down underneath your paunch, as what happens to me, or goes up your bum when you keep having to pick your knickers out your bum. I do wonder, I did have a boyfriend who came wearing Scooby-Doo underpants for our first evening together. I wasn't that thrilled with that. Another guy had that fishnet pair of, the old vests that you have. He had a pair of fishnetty Y fronts with a hole in them. Very unimpressive, boys. You know, if you're going to go and, you know, meet your girlfriend, buy a new pair of underpants. Something nice and clean, maybe black. Then what else? Oh, this is a good one. I would like to ask them, do they have any reoccurring dreams? And what is their reoccurring dream? Like my one, which is not very nice, is that we used to live in a great big huge old smelly, dirty Victorian house that was very big, and when it rained the roof leaked, and it was almost like being in some kind of Dickens book. And because my dad was a builder, that's why he was so busy building all week round that he didn't repair our own house. So anyway, it was quite creepy sometimes, and you can imagine it was in 1888 it was built, and there was a really horrible cellar, and the steps down to it were really steep. It was actually quite scary to get down. You'd almost have to go down on your bum, and it was all full of mud and dirt because nobody ever went down there, and it smelt very musty. And anyway, I still have it to this day, but not so much, about that somehow in the past, a bit like Train Spotting, we've killed somebody, and my sister and I have killed somebody, and we've either buried them in the basement, in the cellar, or they're up in the attic, which was also another rather desolate place. And I don't even know how we killed this person. I know it wasn't deliberate. And also, and then there's also a scene where my sister hands me, she says, don't worry about the body, and she hands me a dinner, and on the dinner there's like meat, kugi, as the Koreans love their kugi, and meat and veg, and I'm vegetarian, so I can't eat this, I'm vegetarian. And it's the person, she's cut them up and she's cooked them. And anyway, this dream started happening because all at the same time, around the same time when it started happening, there was the Fred West issue where they found all those dead bodies that they'd killed loads of people and buried them in the walls of the house. Then there was a Brookside story that the guy was the husband of this family, was very abusive and would hit the mother, beat her near death, and one day he was hitting her, and the daughter got the iron which was on the ironing board and whacked him over the head and killed him, and they buried him under the patio. And it was a very thrilling, good drama, but also it gave me nightmares. And at the same time, a few months later, just a few doors down from where I lived, a drug addict had killed somebody, or they'd overdosed, who knows, and he had put them, like the Train Spotting film, he had left him underneath the floorboards to rot for over 6 months. And I do recall walking past that house and thinking how it used to smell like a butcher's shop, like old blood and sawdust. And the police who came knocking on the door did say that the guy had left the body there for 6 months and it had been eaten by rats. And then at the same time I had a kitten, and she managed to, God knows how, we must have left the window open in the attic, and she had managed to crawl along the roof and get into that attic. And of course I was petrified. I had to go up there on a huge ladder, which my dad had because he's a builder, and try and call her. And I kept thinking that somebody's just going to come out of the thing, grab my legs and suck me in and bury me under the floorboards. And anyway, the kitten came out, she was fine, but I was also worried because they'd put lots of rat poison down because of rats, you know, they must have had that. I wonder, poor rats. I wonder if they got stoned on whatever the guy had been taking. I don't know. Anyway, that was that. I would like to know what their reoccurring dreams were, whether it's something nice or something creepy like that. Also, what else? I would like to ask them if they could have any animal in the world, what, as a pet, what would it be? And mine, I've always, since I was little, wanted a puma. I think I would just suit a puma. And I've had lots of black cats, but it's not the same as a puma, a great big puma. I do remember looking up pumas when I was really small in the library, and I just always wanted a puma. And apart from that, a crow. I've always tried to sort of, there never used to be crows in London, but there are now, and I've always tried to attract them because they're very funny and you can be very friendly with them, and they're very intelligent, and I think I'd look good with a crow and walking down the street with the cats, the crow and the ferrets. It would really, really make my day. And apart from that, things that are realistic is a skunk, a mink, a raccoon and a genet. All of those 4 things also I would like a mink. I haven't got any ferrets at the moment because they've come to blows, but I am going to get some shortly, and I might try and see if the rescue centre has got any black ones or darkish ones, European polecats, because they're quite dark and they look like mink, and I think that would be hilarious, and they go quite well with this house, dark coloured animals. Not that I'm really fussed. I mean, I usually just go to the rescue centre and say, give me whoever you want that's desperate to get out of here. Anyway, so going back to focusing on Taemin and the K-pop industry, what I have discovered is the groups often have to separate for whatever reason. The boys often have to go to military service for 18 months, or some of them, like Minho, who is in Yumi's cells, go off to do other things like acting or acting on the stage or doing their own solo albums. So often the members join splinter bands, splinter groups, and Taemin has joined one called SuperM. Now, the word SuperM, I can't help looking at and dropping the U. It always looks like sperm to me, the band SperM, and I can't look at it as SuperM. It just always says sperm. And it's much more, the group is much more, it's not as soft as Shiny, it's a bit more aggressive, like aggressively hip hop, rapping, a bit more. The video, I haven't seen a lot of the videos, but the video I saw was Jopping, with Jopping, and that is really nice. That is like having, that is more erotic and for women, and a bit more aggressive for men. It's the sort of thing you could easily play in the background of a biker's bar, as long as it wasn't a rocker's biker's bar. And I even have a picture of Lee Taemin sitting on a motorbike as my lock screen, so I enjoy seeing that every morning when I come to my computer. And I find the lyrics of most of the pop songs are quite nonsensical a lot of the way. I mean, jopping, what is jopping? I think it's popping and jumping. They're jumping and popping, so they're jopping. So they've made that word up, and the songs often are built round an English word, and the lyrics, the rest of the lyrics are quite nonsensical. But I do like it. I do like the dancing in that jopping one. It's a bit more, it's quite masculine, and I know Taemin has said that he wants more boy fans. He thinks the boys are jealous of him because all the girls love him, which is probably maybe true. And but he said he would like to have more boy fans as well. So I think he's going in the right direction with the jopping video. And I also think men who, going back to my previous mention about the underpants, buying a clean new pair of underpants for your new girlfriend, equally, when she comes round, turn the football off and maybe have this SperM SuperM video playing in the background, because it's quite, for girls, it's quite fascinating. You do drool a bit, and it's a bit like pre-porn. A lot of Taemin's videos are a bit like pre-porn, and I think it would get you further than having the football on when your lady comes round to visit. I think my views on Taemin may be attracting more men as fans also. Maybe he should they do a lot of reality shows, the K-pop members, and they seem to be on everything. Very, I mean, I watched one the other day, and it was basically Ki-bum from SHINee getting up in the morning, brushing his teeth, having a wash, putting his cream on, letting his dogs go out on the patio. It was so boring. It was like I was saying the other day about somebody stalking me, they would get bored. But the weird thing is that they had a group of other celebrities discussing it. So they were all discussing him getting up in the morning and what he did. Anyway, I think maybe Taemin could go on more sort of manly shows, like strange bungee jumping off some really something like the Grand Canyon, bungee jumping over the Grand Canyon, and maybe wrestling with crocodiles, going and getting a crocodile and singing while you're surfing a crocodile, or going to meet lions or pumas. Love a puma. And you know, travelling on a motorbike with Hell's Angels in Russia. That would be, at the moment, that would be really scary actually, with the war. But Russian Hell's Angels, you know, forget the war, but Russian Hell's Angels going across Mongolia, that would be quite interesting, Taemin. You'd probably get a few boy fans that way. Maybe play cards with gangsters. That would be interesting. You know, you might lose all your money because they're probably quite dodgy, but maybe, you know, get videoed playing cards with gangsters and singing at the same time. Not as a pop video though, as a serious, you know, like what they called it, poker. What's that poker? I don't know what that poker game is, but real gangsters, not computer operated gangsters, real gangsters. And maybe go mud wrestling, go and mud wrestle with hot women. That would attract more boy fans, Taemin. There, I give my ideas to you once again for free. Go to your agency, say, I want to go and mud wrestle with hot women and play cards with gangsters, and see what they say. I did actually watch a video of Taemin searching the internet for himself and reading comments about himself and what he can find about himself, and he seemed quite surprised to see such detail about what his cat's nickname is, and his height, which he corrected, and maybe he was shorter when that person wrote that, and discussing the comments about himself. And his manager is called Namgunisu, and it's a charming relationship between Shiny and Namgunisu. Taemin especially likes to try and turn the camera on him all the time and asks for people to recommend girlfriends for him because he's been single since he was born. And then he says, no, I was joking. And Namgunisu often puts his hoodie up and puts his mask on so nobody can see him, but he has been videoed quite often. And he's got this very nervous laugh whenever Taemin says anything. Is just he sounds a bit like my dad, actually. Very, very kind of benevolent and calming influence. And anyway, so Taemin's on the laptop reviewing all the comments about himself, and all you can hear in the background to whatever Taemin reacts to, and it says quite funny, you can just hear Namgunisu chuckling away. My reaction is Taemin was being shamelessly wonderful, and then I thought, there you go, Taemin, there's another title for either an album or a song. I'm shamelessly wonderful for you. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Annyeong. Have a lovely day. Hope that was funny.